8 years ago, I had my first $10,000 month. And in this video interview with my man Anthony, I'm going to be talking about how I did it. But most importantly, it's not going to be the tactics and the strategies that exactly how I made the money. But what it is going to show you is the mindset that you have to have in order to be successful as an entrepreneur. So if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, or maybe you are, a new entrepreneur and you're dealing with some issues trying to figure out how to just make it, this is a video for you, because I'm going to be talking about a lot of the strategies, the tools, and the tactics that you have to have up here in order for you to make it in this game. So check out the video and make sure that you like and subscribe for more content coming soon. All right, you guys.
All right. So your very first 10K per month, right? So that's what we talk about. But let me just go back to when you sent our group a screenshot a while back of an e-commerce store that was $100,000, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to get there, but talk to me about where you made your first $10,000 per month.
So I made my first $10,000. I'll say I made my first $10,000 in a month.
In a month, yeah, exactly.
Was actually selling websites.
Okay.
So I was at a job still. I was working a job. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because it started in 2012. In 2012, I got a job working at a web hosting company.
Okay.
And when I was working there, I was doing like technical support. So we're a web hosting company. So every time someone calls in, it's someone that has a website with us, hosted with us. And sometimes they would be complaining like, oh, I paid $3,000 for this website. It doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. And like, we didn't build the website. They had another developer or whatever.
Right.
And I just remember like looking at these sites and being like, man, like these websites are trash, but like you paid $3,000 for this. So immediately I was like, wait a minute, like I could do this. I could probably figure this out, And I had built websites as like a kid, like when I was in high school, but I wasn't doing anything with it at all. Like I just stayed away from it. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can make this work. So it took me 4 years of like kind of just trial and error, like,
on the websites.
Yeah, okay. Just kind of like, how could I build websites? Kind of like, I felt like I had to learn how to do it on my own.
Yeah.
It was almost like I was like buying my tuition, like trying to take little classes, going on YouTube and trying to figure it out. And so it wasn't until like 2016 or like late 2015.
I remember that one.
And then me and my friend, I was like, yo, like we should start like a web design agency. So we tried starting this web design agency. He really didn't have any experience building websites. I was, very novice still or whatever, but I was like, we could figure it out. And we didn't. We got like one client, and that one client was his mom.
Yeah.
and and she didn't even pay the full amount. She paid like half, and she didn't pay the second half. So then I was like, okay, wait a minute. Like I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And at the time, me and my wife find out we're having a baby. So now it's like, okay, let's figure out how we're going to make some more money.
Yeah.
And I'm working at another web hosting company now. I'm making like $35,000 a year. I get promoted. Now I'm making $38,000 a year.
Yep.
And I'm just like, this ain't going to cut it,
right.
And so I end up going online. I just start searching like how to make money online, like how to build, how to make money selling websites, things like that. And I get hit by this ad by this guy named Troy Dean.
Okay.
And I get this course. I didn't have the money for it. It was like a $900 course. And I couldn't even afford the payment plan, but I was just like, let me just buy it. Like this has got to be the gateway. And it's funny, this is exactly what he's talking about. In the ad, he says how to get your first 10K proposal.
You serious?
Yeah, that's what the ad is.
Okay.
So how to make your first like 10K project or whatever. Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, shoot, I ain't never sold a 10 grand project. I can barely sell a $300 project. And so I get the course, and I'm thinking that the course is going to teach me how to make better websites. Because I'm like, that's my problem. I don't know how to make better websites. So I get in the course, we go through it and everything. And I learned some different tools that I could use, like to make the process easier. Yeah. But nowhere inside of this course did he teach me how to make better websites at all. But he taught me how to sell, how to position myself, how to, close the deal, how to actually send a proposal that actually works, how to copyright, how to generate leads. Yeah. And so I was like, I went from, you know, chasing down people, friends and family, trying to sell them $300 projects where they would still say no, to now I'm closing $1,500, $3,000 projects, $4,000 projects. So, and then at the same time, simultaneously, I get another job at another company. Now I'm making I think I'm making almost $60,000 a year,
Okay.
60, 65,000 a year.
You're even 2 jobs at this point.
No, I quit the other job
Okay.
to go to this job.
Okay.
Because I'm having a baby and I'm like, I need to make more money. And I can work from home like every single day now. So I'm like, cool. So I get that job. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, I got to make this thing work because even this ain't going to cut it, you know? So I get the job. And then while we're at the hospital, like I'm literally just like closing deals from what I learned in this course.
Your website deals.
Yeah, I'm closing website deals. So I made about, I want to say somewhere around like 10 to 12K, like in that maybe 2-week period between like, you know, my wife's about to go in labor until, you know, her going to labor and us leaving the hospital. So that was my first 10 grand right there.
Bro. So I want to back a little bit. So when you were searching for a business, so I think a lot of people get stuck and like, you know, what do I do? They get stuck in the search, and that search frustrates them, right? It's like, I don't know what business to start. How long did you actually search on the internet, and then why did you settle on websites? And then also, was that search frustrating for you, trying to find out what to do?
Yeah, so it was a little frustrating. I think what made it, well, to go back to where you said, so I started searching probably like late 2015.
Yeah.
And I started off with the traditional search, like how to make money online, you know? And when I did that, it's funny, like a lot of the books and stuff that I read now, a lot of the platforms I use now, I was seeing all these people's content even back then.
Wow, okay.
Like back in 2015. So like Robert Kiyosaki's like, you know, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm seeing his ads. I'm seeing Russell Brunson's .com secrets and him selling ClickFunnels.
Back then, you were seeing that stuff?
Yeah, back then. I'm seeing Pat Flynn's passive income online. Like, so I'm seeing all these different websites. And I'm kind of piecing things together because I made money online when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I just didn't take it serious. And so I'm already piecing things together. I'm seeing like, okay, these guys are making money off affiliates. I know about affiliates. These guys are making money, you know. I mean, I didn't know what ClickFunnels was or landing pages or nothing like that, but like I can kind of piece things together. And one of the things that would come up a lot was like trading, like stock trading. So I would kind of like look into that. But like, I would say the thing that was frustrating the most about it is I didn't realize that like, yo, I need to pay to play. Like I didn't realize that like, yo, I got to buy one of these things. Like I'm over here trying to piece it all together.
So what does that mean, pay to play?
It means like you see that there's this opportunity here. There's something that you can do. But it's like, yo, you got to pay your tuition.
You
like
invest in yourself.
You know, invest in yourself. Don't just try and like, you can't piece the stuff together off of webinars. Like you can watch all the webinars in the world, but it's like, until you actually have some of that experience, like I think now I'm at the level where like, yeah, I can watch some webinars and piece some stuff together if I wanted to and probably make it work because I understand all the foundations and stuff now. But if you're just starting out, you can't go ahead and like watch a webinar and then watch somebody else's YouTube video and then watch a bunch of other YouTube videos, read a bunch of blogs, and then try and be like, yeah, I'm going to go do this now. There's too many unknowns. There's too many variables. And so, yeah, I didn't realize I need to pay to play. So I'm looking at it like, man, I don't know what to do because I'm not willing to pull the trigger on something. You know, I could have bought a stock trading course. I could have bought Pat Flynn's course or whatever he was selling and then just followed a system. But I didn't do that.
So when did you actually realize that, you know, you had to? Because, I mean, even me, I was the same way. You know, I would think that I can watch stuff on YouTube, watch webinars, and thinking I can piece it together, but I wasn't having any success, right? When did you actually realize that you had to invest money into buying a course, seeking a mentor, just someone who's already done it? Like, when did you actually realize that?
Yeah. So I actually realized it when I was having my baby.
Okay.
And it wasn't because, and it's funny to, like, I guess I already realized it subconsciously because I was trying to go to school to learn how to build websites. Like I was taking classes at a community college, like I'm going to become a developer, like, and then I'll be able to make my money. So it's not like I wasn't paying some type of tuition already. You know, I'm buying books. I'm trying to figure this out. I mean, I was getting financial aid, quote unquote, but like at the time, it wasn't necessarily a matter of like, oh, I had this epiphany. Yeah. Like I need to pay. Like that's what I got to do. It was more of like, my situation is in a situation where I need to pay. Like there's just no like there's no other way. Right. You know.
But you couldn't pay, right? So it was like you had to have some kind of, I don't know, courage, like in yourself, because you couldn't pay because you said you got the course, but you wasn't sure. You couldn't even afford the payment plan. Yeah. Right. And something stuck out that what you said is like you were already paying to go to school. You're already paying to become a developer, but most people do that. They can pay for education through a college or through a trade school, but when it comes down to business, they get scared. Right. So that's something that really stuck out to me.
Well, consider this. Like, it's funny. I literally was just thinking about this today on the way here. Like, if you just put a value on your time, right? Like, because the real issue, the reason why you don't want to pay is because at the end of the day, I'm afraid of losing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm afraid that I'm not going to make money. Yeah. And like, we have to like get rid of that idea because at the end of the day, no matter what it is that you build, any business that you build, you're always going to lose first.
Say that again.
Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Right. So like, but let's compare that to also working a job. Right. If you work a job and let's say you just put a value, let's say you work you're a minimum wage worker. Yeah. If you're a minimum wage worker, then that means an hour of your time is, or at least what you're valuing it at, you're valuing an hour of your time at $15 or $16 an hour now. So every hour that you work up until you actually receive the paycheck and get the money in your account is lost money. Because you're losing your time for that entire 2 weeks until that check hits your account. Right. Now, the difference is there's certainty that the check is going to come. Right. But when you're trying to do a business, there is no certainty that whatever you do is going to come. But at the end of the day, you have to lose. Yeah. Like whether it's putting up money or whether it's just spending time trying to figure it out on your own, you're losing.
You're losing. Yeah. So when I invest in yourself, because if you lose at a job, you can potentially get fired, right? And then it's done. You lose out a business, you can figure out ways to like get that business back going because you invested in yourself, right? Right. So, how did it feel to make that first 10K per month? How did it feel and how did it change your life?
Yeah. So, I think the biggest thing for me was like, I mean, I had never made. Right. When you start making the same amount of money in one day that you make in a week or 2 weeks or a month, it's like, I don't even know how to really explain that feeling. Yeah. I mean, I guess the thing I would say is like, you get this, it's choice at the end of the day. Because it's like, wow, like I can do something with this that normally I would have had to wait for. Right. And I think that's like back to even what we were just saying. At the end of the day, like it's really a conversation of, it's not a conversation of money, it's a conversation of time. Right. Like wealth is measured in time. Right. So at the end of the day, it's like, it's not about how much money I'm making, it's how fast I made it. Yeah. You know? Right. Or like how long am I going to lose for? Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I think it was more of like, wow, like I'm not losing anymore and I'm able to get out of not losing much faster than I would if I was to go down this career path that I was doing. Yeah. And doing that, I mean, I know making that cash gave you like an amazing boost of confidence, right? Like you can do, because I mean, since ecom, you've done so much. You know, you've done so much. You launched so many other businesses, and it's all about just getting started. Because, like you said, you're going to lose. It's going to happen. So since ecom, you did that. You've helped the crew, get their sites together, get their ass together. But since ecom, talk to me about some of the things that you've done, right? Because that first 10K was a big boost for you, right? And since then, even ecom store, you scaled beyond 10K, per month, right? The websites, I'm sure you've done beyond 10K per month. So
that's just the benchmark of like while we're here, hit that first 10K, because if you do that, then it gives you confidence to go from 10K a month, or 20K a month, 30K a month, 100K a month, right? That's the goal. What have you done since that first 10K in websites?
Yeah. So after the first 10K in websites, I mean, you've spoken a little bit right now, like with e-com. I jumped into e-commerce, and that was something I always wanted to do as well.
Okay.
But once again, didn't know how to do it, And so I ended up I was doing 10K profit with e-commerce. I was doing about $30,000 a month.
Wow.
And at least in my first store.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went on in 2019, I built a subscription business, and we were doing around $120,000 a month in subscription revenue. Yeah. And then after that, I went ahead and jumped into the restaurant industry.
Right.
So the restaurant industry, co-founded a restaurant called Shoots. And it's crazy because it's like the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And so we opened right during the pandemic. We opened in 2020, September 2020. But as I saw what was happening with the pandemic and how things were shifting, it was that time where I could see that I could take all of the information that I learned, all of the knowledge and experience from e-commerce, building websites and all that, and then just bring it over to the restaurant industry, because the restaurant industry is like 10, 15 plus years behind all the other industries.
Damn.
So, we actually opened up Shoots in September 2020. The first 12 months, we did $1.9 million in sales. Second year, we did, 2022, we did like 2.5. We just did 3.7 mil last year, and hoping to do 5 this year.
So I just want people to like really understand and hear this, right? So you started in a job, you said making like $35,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
Went from there to you invested in yourself, bought a course, had a mentor, and he taught you how to really sell websites.
Yeah.
That's when you made your first 10K in 2 weeks, right? 10 to 12K in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you took that knowledge and went into e-com, and that screenshot of 100K that you made in that was in how long?
100K in 2.5 months.
2.5 months, right? So 50K a month, right? You took that, and now you're on track to do $5 million for the year for your restaurant, right? So where you start is not where you finish, right? I mean, it can be if you stop, but my whole point is that hopping in and making your first 10K and investing in yourselves gives you the confidence to do bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Which you've done, right?
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing because, we all know we got this thing called inflation, right? So, 10K today ain't what it was. And,
it's 9K next year.
Exactly. So you take the skills that you learn and you just apply them to scale. You can launch a e-com store right now and probably come out the gate making 10K per month, right? Out the gate. And that's because 1, you've learned, 2, you trust yourself, and 3, you know exactly what to do. But the whole thing, my whole point is get started, right? Get started.
Facts.
And we help you by shortening the curve. So we give you 10 businesses that you can start today, right? So all the searching and frustration is it's non-existent because we show you, hey, start one of these 10, right? And then these can make you 10K per month. How did that mentor change your life? The mentor.
Man, I'll never forget this guy. He probably don't know me, but I'll never forget Troy Dean. He was the guy, right. Australian dude. Yeah. And here's the crazy thing about it too. I think a lot of times when people buy courses or mentorships, they're like, I need this thing to work. I need this one thing to be the thing that's going to work for me. Right. And at the end of the day, it's because you're just not you're just not understanding the core principle that no matter what it is that you do, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. So just get used to the fact that you're going to take an L, but at the end of the day, you're going to win. You're going to win as long as you keep going. Right. And so there's people that took Troy Dean's course and went on and did millions selling websites. Yep. There's guys that went on and did, they're still in that space of we're building agencies, right.
Right.
And like that wasn't me.
Right.
But for me, that was my stepping stone.
Yeah.
You know, I made some extra money, like more than my investment for sure.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't say I was his most successful student.
Yeah.
You know, like that was just my stepping stone.
Right. Right.
So I would say like, yeah, like I'll never, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to forget that like that was the guy that like really set me in the right direction.
Yeah. So our boy Jonathan, he has a term called saying like everything works. Right?
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
That no matter what it is that you do,
Yeah.
like it all work works.
All work works.
Yeah. And that's all work works. Like at the end of the day, like even when it seems like it's not getting you what you want, it's working on you. It might not be working for you, but it's working on you.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you stick to it and be consistent, because I mean, even me, I find myself jumping from business to business to business. Like, you know, if you stay and you commit through the lean times and the good times, it's going to work.
Right.
It's going to work. So thanks, bro. Thanks for talking to us about that, because it's important that people know that it can be done. And people, you know, even if you're not currently an entrepreneur and currently in a job, if you commit some time, some energy, some effort, and some money to invest, then you can ultimately get to where you want to be. Because now you got shoots. How many spots do you have now?
We got 3 right now.
3. So you went from $35K a year to now setting up a legacy for your kids.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Within how many years?
Shoot. What has it been? Maybe 8 years
8
now.
years.
I mean, we've only built shoots in 2020. I bought that course in 2016. So 8 years.
Boom.
Yeah.
There you go. Suck me down. So thanks for popping by, bro. I appreciate you as always.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks for having me.